let's talk about what you wear in your intimate moments. Hi, this is Liana, Holistic Intimacy Coach. Welcome back to my channel. Here, I help you get your orgasmic intimacy. Before I get into the topic, I want to remind you of the two biggest resources that I have. Number one is the Patreon community. That's where I facilitate embodiment practices, short from 3 minutes up to 30 minutes or even longer. Depends on your availability of time, of patience throughout the day or throughout the week. The point is that you work on yourself and you get in the habit of spending time in your body. Highly useful in intimacy. The second resources that I have is the dojo, where I have the 5 best programs out there around intimacy. 3 are for intimate touch, for women and for men. Another one is just intimacy coaching. If you can't afford, for whatever reason, to go through live coaching one-on-one with me, then this program is the not ideal substitute. Okay, ideally you want to work with me live, but if you can't, that's the most accessible, financially speaking, substitute. And number 5, the best program that I have is for women, for women's practices. Yes, sexuality practices. We work with our pelvic floor, we work with the rest of the body, and we work with accessories. Ladies, check it out. It's the best investment if you want to stay consistent. It's 12 weeks of content. All right, that being said, we're going to get back to our topic. What do you wear in intimacy? I'm going to give you 3 things from me as a coach, and then I'm going to get into the answers that I got from the community. So, with no further ado, number 1, confidence. Whatever you decide to wear in terms of actual, physical, concrete, palpable stuff, whatever jewelry you decide to put on, whatever you decide to put on, confidence is the one thing that I first and foremost recommend that you wear. There's only so much that really fancy stuff and really luxurious stuff can get you if you don't have confidence. Okay? They can't substitute that. They can't hide that. They can't replace that. So please hear me out here. Confidence. How do you get it? Well, there are more ways in which you can get confidence. Number 1 is experience. Although, if you've seen some of my videos here with the body count, with the Andrew Tate commentary that I made, there are people that have a problem with women that have a high body count. Now, I don't know about you, but a lot of the people that have had sex with only one person in their lives and have never gone through other means of doing personal work, personal growth work on sexuality, they feel inexperienced and they feel like they're not necessarily klutz, but they feel somehow intimidated in intimacy. When, let's say that they want to get a new partner, or they just in a conversation where people say that, oh, I've been with this person and that person, and from that perspective, a person that has never interacted but with one partner will feel like, wow, but I've just had the same person in my life forever, intimately, and we haven't tried all that stuff, that much stuff. There are some people that have only one partner, but that partner is super open to exploring, and they bring, they take initiative, or they're open to the initiative of them, and so on. So there are some relationships where people have just one partner in their lives, but they explore a lot. From what I know, I'm not going to say sadly, I was going to say sadly. From what I know, it's not necessarily the norm here. It's not necessarily widespread. So confidence does come with experience, but not necessarily quantity experience, quality experience. That's one. If you never want to go for growth in sexuality, then that's it. The second way in which you can get confident is through doing self-work, okay? Reading stuff, understanding yourself, so that means taking some sessions, whether it's with a therapist specialized in psychosexuality. I'm not talking psycho people, okay? Psychological sexuality, that's what it means. Take sessions with a facilitator, whether it's for tantra or other vanilla stuff that some people judge them as such, or with a kink or BDSM facilitator. And you want to go the hardcore way, or the psychological kink, power play, power dynamics, and all of that. So Confidence can also come with doing personal growth work. Confidence can also come with really working, not necessarily just accumulating information and then applying it, but sitting with your shadows. The best way in which you get confident. And for whatever reason, I think it's a good one, however, you can't really do that kind of work with your partner. Nor would you want to do this kind of work with your partner. So they would do it on themselves and you'd be their therapist, or they would be your therapist. I think that puts a lot of pressure on people that are not maybe built for that. They don't have the skill maybe, or they don't have the interest sometimes. Okay, there are some people in relationships who keep saying, look, you got issues, please seek therapy because I'm not a therapist. That stuff is being said in relationships. A lot of women that sought me for coaching, especially in my first years of doing coaching, they were sent by their partners. So their partners in one way or another would tell them, please seek some form of development because I can't help you there. And it wasn't done in a condescending way. It was done in a loving way. Hey, there's something here that is far beyond my capacity. So you do get confident when you work on your shadows. And the best way to do that without, for lack of a better word, without polluting your relationship is to take it with a psychiatrist or a psychologist or with a coach if you're talking light shadow there, not knowing how or just having some emotion around exploring and all of that. Sometimes coaching can also help. Another way of gaining confidence is working on your inner resources, okay? The skills that you have in sexuality. And that one, you can take it through programs, okay? Check out, ladies, especially you, because I'm a woman, in a woman's body. The Women's Practices program, that one is definitely for ladies. The intimate massages, whether for men or for women, ladies, check those out as well. Okay, all details are under this video. Building your resources, accumulating skills that fit you, okay, that you're comfortable in applying in intimacy is also another great way to bring confidence in. So wear it in intimacy. Okay, number 2, relaxation. Yes, there's no better way of saying this. So relaxation, which is for sexuality, is the foundation of arousal. It is the foundation of pleasure. And with relaxation, you don't run the risk of missing out on orgasms. Okay? Because in most cases, women, I'm mainly addressing women here, so guys, just take notice of this. It's not that their bodies don't function. It's not that the way that you are engaging intimately is incompatible with their body, but it's more that they are so concerned with a lot of stuff. They're not relaxed enough, and sometimes people can fake relaxation, meaning they don't say much, they hold their eyes closed, but they're not truly relaxed. And it's not a bad thing in and of itself. Maybe they're going through a rough period and just whatever sex they can have in that moment or in that period of their lives is still valuable, so it's still worth doing or having. But with not enough or not deep enough relaxation, they sometimes miss orgasm. It eludes them somehow because there's so much worry, thought, so there's still a lot present in their mind and not enough in their body. So how do you work on relaxation? Well, practices, okay? With some people, the sapiosexuals, you can work with meditation or any other mind calming practices, exercises. For the more physical people, the more impact ones, body practices, okay? Embodiment practices. A lot of the stuff that I have on Patreon, also one of the purposes is to help people relax, center their emotions, get back their focus. Maybe in intimacy they want to have their focus on their body, so bringing their awareness to their body. Those are stuff that I work with in the Patreon community. And with all the stuff that is going on right now, recession worldwide, I think that is the most sustainable way in which you can actually work on yourself and get in touch with your body. So it's not a big amount, totally doable for a lot of people. So that's the way in which I can help. Now, how else do people get relaxation, though I don't think it's so recommended? Alcohol. I don't recommend that. Okay, I've had people that came to coaching, they couldn't relax if they didn't have a glass of wine or something before. It's not necessarily a bad thing to every now and then or take a sip of wine, but if you need a glass of wine every single time so that you enjoy intimacy, there's too much anxiety, there's too much emotion, there's too much trigger, your nervous system is too fired up and it can't come back to its body, feel into your body. You can't stay present, basically. So you need to numb your mind, and you use alcohol. Some people use, other substances, which I don't recommend, I'll be honest. Maybe if you want to try them once or twice as an experience, although probably you want to look at what is legal, what is safe to do in your country. I'm certainly not an expert in that. But my best advice here is go the classical way. Body work, do practices every so often, and it's cumulative. Okay, the more you do practices, the more you're able to come back to your body and stay present with it. So that's why the tool that I have on Patreon is a great resource there. The third thing that I have here, which is essentially it doesn't matter what else, because these two I recommend first and foremost, is obviously lingerie or other kind of clothes, depending on what kind of sexuality you're embodying, okay? The spiritual, sacred, neo-tantric, Taoist type, or the kinky, intense, just sensual, just fashion, okay? Some people just want to be fashion, and they get the most in-fashion lingerie or in-fashion jewelry, whatever else they can think of. So some people go for that, okay? Some people go for prestige clothing, even in intimacy, that gets them turned on. Some people want to wear nothing, and that's worth saying here. So I think whatever you decide here, it's probably the most important one is, does it suit your body shape or your body type? Does it suit your personality? Because if you wear something that is not a match with your personality, probably most of you people out there, you can't wear all the stuff that you can think of and really have them match your personality. And guess what? The opinion of the person that is with you also matters. Because if you wear something, it's a really like a huge discrepancy with your personality, they're gonna, you don't convince me. You can't really, you can't make it work. So I'm not exactly like, I don't buy it. That's the reaction that you have. I don't know how, if you're in intimacy with somebody, I don't know how you could override that reaction of the person that is with you. Like, I don't buy it. I couldn't be indifferent. Like, if I were to wear something, just to try it, and the other person telling me, doesn't suit you, I don't buy it, doesn't work. My entire whatever mood I'd be in, it would be killed completely, annihilated. So the opinion of the other person also matters. And usually the other people are just going to be, whether they have some issues of their own, maybe it does fit you, maybe you want to explore something new and you've worked on yourself psychologically to really embody the new stuff. Maybe sometimes the issues that other people have with the new you, they might come up. So be aware that whatever you decide to wear will generate a reaction from the other person. And that reaction is, you can't be indifferent to it. Ideally, you don't want to be indifferent to it because you're in intimacy with somebody. You're totally not indifferent to the person. At least ideally. I don't know what to tell you if you are. Now let's look at some of the answers that the community on Instagram gave. Okay, the first one on the top is myself. And that one is in the best philosophical way I could say it also. Be you, okay? Be you, wear you, do you, and that's the best stuff to put on in intimacy if you want to take my word for it. And I think if you were to think about it, that's what you would want your partner to wear also. That's what you'd find more most attractive about them. Okay, the other answer, nothing. Yep, your birth suit, basically. The next one, lingerie, the best I can get. Here, I just want to remind you of what I said earlier. Hopefully, the best quality is also the best kind, you know, the one that suits you and your personality. I think working in harmony with your personality is going to do wonders for your intimacy. When you're trying to be something that really you're not, and it doesn't complement you in any way, I think that's where we fail in many ways. My opinion. Okay, the next one. Somebody answered my poll in Romanian. Dar tu ce porți? So, but what do you wear? Here I'm going to say this. I don't have the luxury of being anonymous. Okay, I'm a coach. You have my name. I'm a living person. I don't want to disclose personal stuff. Let me tell you, the stuff that I have here came anonymously from people that are not coaches. You don't know who they are. So I can't answer here. I really can't, sadly. But, you know, whatever I wear, I make sure that it fits my personality or it fits whatever the other person brings out in me. Because sometimes, you know, I've noticed that also different people do bring out different sides of me. And I think that's valid for everybody if you are to really think about it. Okay, the next one, something special. Sometimes I don't have the time to put it on. Okay, yeah, some things are really more of a challenge to gear on. So yeah, you got it. That's also something. I mean, is it simple or is it too complicated? I think this is a really good point here. Does it take you a long time to prepare for intimacy, whatever you're wearing? Because maybe, you know, sometimes you're not gonna, you know, with spontaneity, too complex things don't really work. Okay, and lastly, he keeps telling me it's not the clothes that do it for him. Yep. What did I tell you? He must be a coach or whatever. I don't know who he is, but I think he has a point here. I think that sometimes just the best version of ourselves, or the most confident and the most relaxed version of ourselves, is going to be the best one to bring in intimacy. All right. So that being said, I'm really curious if you feel comfortable to sharing which of the stuff that we shared here you resonate with. Not necessarily that you do it, but which you find more helpful, the healthiest, and so on. Also, remember to check out my resources. If you want to work on step number 1, confidence, and step number 2, relaxation, then the resources that I have, practices on Patreon or the dojo with the programs, they're going to be a really good resource for you. All right? I'll hear you in the next video. Bye.